tasty. How you going? So it's not long till I'm going to bounce to a new location. I'm going to have to be back in the land down under. I do love Australia. I love Australians. I'm a bit disenfranchised with the place now, but you know, I'm here now before you, just another candid, off the cuff, drug-induced fucking psychotic delusion from La La Land, and I'm packing my gear because we're about to bounce to a new locale, and we're gonna, you know, change scene, cut. I'm gonna go through some kind of commuter hell. Hopefully not get fucked over by officials and fucking retards with fucking clipboards and zero fucking life satisfaction. That seems to be the experience in fucking immigration control kind of joints. Fuck, I hate that shit. Anyway, once they fucking probe me and I fucking hopefully haven't fucking got a loose joint fucking in a pocket somewhere that's gonna end up in fucking jail in some country. Once I'm back home, I've got some work to do, right? So right now, again, like, when I'm packing my bag, I'll go through fucking every pocket, every little fucking thing. I search every fucking thing, everything I've got, just because, you know, I've always been a weed guy, right? Like, I'm in the land of Thailand, right? Like, I've bought so many fucking loose joints here, and I've got fucking, like, heaps of fucking decent weed for not that much money, and some really good fucking hashish and that kind of shit. And you know, if I fucking fly back with that in my fucking pocket, like, and a fucking dog comes and sniffs you, look. Dog sniffs you, it's like, fuck, I like dogs, hey, but those fucking dogs, they don't know what they're doing here. They don't know that when they sniff those fucking delicious drugs that you're going to fucking jail somewhere in some fucking place where you'll never get a lawyer or a legal representation, and fucking your government will abandon you. These are the things I think about because I like to consume cannabis. You know, I drink coffee every day too. I don't really care for tea, but sometimes I drink green tea. Chocolate's pretty nice, like sugar I do like, even though it's a fucking devil, like it seriously fucks my life. Like, and when I remove it completely from my life's better. You know, all those things, like, I mean, like, I don't believe sugar should be illegal. Like, I think everyone should fucking realise that, like, just fucking smashing it all the time, like, for years on end, like, when you're not really exercising or moving or fucking working hard, like, it's fucking really bad for you, like, and when I took it out of my life, it fucking got a lot better, but, like, I don't believe it should be illegal. I don't believe people should go to jail for fucking, like, possessing or selling sugar. Anyway, which is like, you know, like I bought these beautiful grapes here. Like, I've got some grapes and some fucking strawberries from across the road. They're delicious. Like, one thing I'm not looking back going back to Australia is I'm actually going to do a bit more fasting when I'm there, because the food fucking sucks. Honestly, the quality of what we get there for the price we pay, we get fucking, like, we're getting massively screwed. Because every fucking meal I've had here has been excellent. Like, I've always sort of thought, like, as a bias against Thailand. I love Thailand. I've been here a lot during my life, and I've found sanctuary here last time when I was, like, on the way to and from Europe after I fled Nicole last time. You know, like, I've had some very healing, spiritual, calming periods of my life in this country, and honestly, like, I wouldn't say like I've lived here long enough to like know the people and like be part of the local scene or any of that kind of stuff, but I can't really speak Thai, for example, but the people here are so content, like they seem so chill, like they're not like Australia, just people aren't happy, right? So I'm kind of like, anyway, to make me happy, I decided to corpse paint up because I'm packing my bag so that I can bounce back via Australia and sort my shit out. And in my bag, I found I had one tube of white paint that I'd fucking had from the night that one of my best mates fucking corpse painted me up to do one of my early videos. So it's one of the things. He didn't really probably know exactly what I was doing with it, but he knew I was doing an art project, and he's a fucking very, very talented guy, and he helped fucking dragonfly me out, which is, you know, that was very, very fun at the time. But I've had that in one of those tubes of paint. In fact, I thought I probably have somewhere 2 of those tubes of paint, but I found one white paint bag, tube of paint in my backpack, and because I'm going through looking for like anything that could fucking get me thrown in a box somewhere, like joints, like, or a hash cookie or something like that. So anyway, so I found this fucking tube of corpse paint. I'm like, well, it's Friday night, like we're actually it might be Saturday night. This is part of living at the beach, like, and having all day, like, you know, your own, I can't, yeah. Anyway, I've only got a couple of days left, and packing to find the corpse paint tube. And my plan was to actually do like a black metal at the beach kind of fucking vibe, but you know, I'm sitting at the apartment now. I'm on the balcony. There's actually some music in the background. There's like a street party thing going on downstairs, which is cool. It's like kind of trippy, so I don't know how much of that'll feed into the microphone, but you know, ambient weird noise, background noise is kind of like a signature of this whole series anyway. So anyway, so I'm sitting here Friday night, we come home early, we've gone to have a nice night out, decided to get an early night in and watch a movie, and I've seen this tube of paint as I'm packing. I'm like, well, I fucking brought that paint with me for a reason. I brought the thing with me for a reason, hey. So here it is. So anyway, I'm just sitting on my deck by candlelight. This whole journey's been it's a long weird trip, right? And we're only just getting started, it seems, because I've got plenty more stuff left to kind of, from both the past, present, future, and etc. and to feed. But you know, I've got this philosophy in life that half of my life feels like I kind of acquire things and not necessarily understand things or skills, not really understanding why I'm doing it, but knowing that at some point it will be useful. And I do that with things that are like functional and practical, and I do that with things that are sometimes just beautiful. You know, I've got this like, you know, like I've got a real fondness for things that are just aesthetically and tactilely like pleasing, and it doesn't need to be expensive. Like there's, you know, elegance of design is something that's, you know, kind of always been interested. So anyway, so I'm here, like my whole life kind of feels like I've acquired these specific knowledge or specific skills or specific items in the past at some point. And because my life's been so fucking disrupted by Nicole's fixation that I'm manic and I've gone berserk and I need to be fucking incarcerated and medicated, all these things got sort of like scattered across the fucking world, almost like, you know, like for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been rediscovering shit I bought like years ago and finding it and going, oh fuck, that's like, you know, I'll do a tidy out at somewhere that's like long been neglected and abandoned, like, you know, so the storage area at work, like I uncovered some shit in there. I'm like, I remember buying it. I bought it for a reason, because I had a function for it, and I had, like, it was beautiful and it was going to create an atmosphere and an aesthetic. And I'm like, so I bought all these things, you know, for the bar and for, you know, home and stuff like that. And I find them all the time. Like I kind of come across it, and it's almost like, and this is, I'm gonna, full disclosure here, like, hang on baby, hello darling, I'm in the middle. You're gonna come for, we're on video, but just give me cuddles. I love you, baby. You're gonna have corpse paint all over your boobs now, which is probably the best thing that could ever happen to corpse paint. And now you've turned on my music as well in my ears, so that's cool. So you got some corpse paint going here. Hello, baby. You can hardly even be seen in this light. You're so dark, my love. Anyway, so again, I never really know where these videos are going. I just decided to corpse paint up because I had the corpse paint. I'm like, I've had it with me this whole time. Like, I'm going to use it for a video because that's why I brought it here. So this is the video, and I don't know. We're having a good life and we're really happy, and we've had some very beautiful times here. And even though I'm wearing corpse paint on a Friday night, like, I couldn't be happier. And, you know, it's been a long, weird trip, and it still is, and there's a long way on this road. And soon I'll be back home and I'll be trying to sort my life out to what extent I can. And, you know, a lot of people won't get like even what I'm doing tonight. And I've got this fucking, you know, like I put the paint on and I actually used ash from cannabis and also a cork, because actually here's a pro tip: corks are actually way better for coarse paint than black paint. There's a sorceress around me too, actually. I'd see the AI is getting really good, hey. Like, I literally just like fed into it, like, I want a trippy video that like people don't like really get what's going on, and it's like confusing to them, but I also want to be like maybe like kind of just fucking slightly entertaining and weird and eye-catching. Look at this. Oh my god. Hang on. How weird are we gonna make this? The tongue. The tongue's a beautiful thing. Thank you, baby. Thanks for the guest appearance. I like your hat too. Where did you get such a beautiful hat? So from the start of this journey again, I never know where these things are going to go. I'm going to just tangent now. And my initial intent for all this stuff was just to put out completely unedited, no fucking narrative, just let the facts speak for themselves, because I'm a lot of things, but I'm not detached from reality, and I'm not inconsistent. And my message has really been that as much as I love Nicole and she loves me, she doesn't realise her behaviour is completely abusive to me. And you know, to the extent that I've recorded myself thousands of times telling her that, saying like, the way you talk to me is unacceptable, and the way you treat me is unacceptable. The fact you deprive me of my sleep is unacceptable. The fact that your stress goes completely unmanaged and it just all flows onto me. And I had hoped, like honestly, because I've lived the journey. I know I face skepticism at every turn. I have. You know, I will say right now, thank you to everyone who's actually fucking called me and spoken to me and has let me know that they understand fucking that this is not all in my head, and that they understand what I'm saying, and they understand that, you know, that offer anything they can do to help, but also knowing like, how do you help? Like, so anyway, so I sort of got this paint up tonight and have this video, and you know, Rose and I have been here together now. I think we've been here for like 7 or 8 weeks together. Like, we kind of met dancing one night, and we immediately took a shine to each other, and immediately got quite involved emotionally, and in a spiritual sense we connected like almost immediately. And you know, hopefully one day soon ex-wife Nicole would say that it's just the thing that happens when you're manic, you know, like that's obviously it, this is what happened last time, right? Like what happened last time, as well as Nicole's psychosis and delusional thinking that I was manic and needed to be locked up for my own good, like that actually led me to fall out of love with her. And like that, when I fell out of love with her, it was complete. It was like, as much as I love her, actually, I didn't sleep much on the morning of Christmas Day in 2022, and I spent the night in my room by myself and had some quiet reflection, and fortunately one bright spark was that I had a nice deep skin that one of my compatriots had managed to rustle out of the universe, so I was able to, the window's about that big, like I've got a photo of it, like on some of the Dragonflies playlist, you'll see the size of my window. It's about the size of my mega boom, it's about the size of a can of Coke. So of course it's very hard not to fucking smoke a fucking J and not get some kind of fucking smell from it. Everyone knows cannabis has got a strong smell. But by saying that, it's by no means either impossible, or at least if they detect that you're doing it, they don't always make a deal of it. But when they suspect it, they treat you like a fucking criminal. They shake down your shit and they fucking search everything you got and you just leave it all in a mess. Like basically fucking just threaten you with a fucking high security ring, you know, just because, anyway, you enjoyed some cannabis on Christmas Eve. Anyway, so my Christmas Eve, a lot of things, a lot of reflection. I was looking out the window. I did joke a few times, and it was a joke, and it's on record. You know, like I was watching out that window the whole fucking night, that tiny window, just praying to fucking jar and smoking the herb that my brother found me. And I was watching for Santa Claus, and I was kind of going, if there was a Santa, can I wish for a helicopter, like in the middle of this shithole, like just a helo, even just don't even have to land, just throw the rope ladder down. I'll fucking skin up that fucking thing. Cause I could have flown a few of us out. Well, there's a few people there that'll be like, fucking we get on the job, that's what I wanted for Christmas, helicopter. But what I got instead was the cold hard realisation that after like weeks of abuse at home, and then a good, by that stage, like 10 days of sustained attack of Nicole. Like every time I would try to argue that there'd been a mistake and that somebody really needed to take my allegation that I'd been abused seriously. That, you know, after 10 days of that, I woke up. I didn't wake up. I was in like a listless, like dissatisfied, freezing cold. It was like it was cold like a lot in there, even though it was fucking summertime. It was freezing fucking cold. Totally alone, and I knew that Nicole had taken the kids to Mollymook, and that my Christmas Day was definitely not going to be what I wanted it to be, which was like a nice fucking holiday down the beach with my kids and my wife, which is what Christmas is supposed to be about, and there was no reason why that couldn't have happened. Anyway, so I'm there lying on my fucking cold, hard, fucking sweaty plastic fucking mattress with the sheets that fucking you slip straight off, and with a fucking probably at that stage maybe I had a blanket, but fucking like, you know, the first fucking half a week in there at least I froze almost to death because they wouldn't give me any fucking blankets. You know, after that I'm lying there, it's like maybe 5, 6 in the morning, it's like early, and the first thing I realised was that no matter how much I love Nicole, that with her sustained attack on my freedom and this complete delusion that I needed to be hospitalised, I couldn't be with her. It was the first realisation. I just couldn't. After, you know, we met in 1999 and I fell in love with her immediately. Like when I saw her into the room, I was initially instantly captivated. And after quite a brief conversation with her, I was very interested. And after an hour or two of talking to her, we were in love, and we were on the way to like a very happy marriage for quite a few years. I never saw myself turning away from that. Like, in the whole time I was with Nicole, I never fucking once thought about having an affair. I never found myself attracted to another woman. I wasn't even contemplating it. But I found myself lying there on fucking cold and fucking lonely on Christmas morning, like by myself, fucking knowing that at some point they were going to let us out of our fucking box and I could at least go outside in the fucking quadrangle and fucking like stare through the bars and maybe do some push-ups or some fucking handstands or some just move, because I'm cooped up in this fucking tiny box for weeks on end. Anyway, I'm lying there and so the first realisation is like I just can't be with Nicole. And the second colder, harder realisation was that I also knew I couldn't love her anymore, and I didn't love her anymore. And just like when I fell in love with her, where it was like an on or an off. Once I had the realization that I was out of love with her, that there was no path that way anymore. I knew that not only could I, like, she was the biggest threat to me, but she was also not a future that I dreamed and not an outcome I'd ever hoped for, ever expected. So, you know, almost the first night or the second, or like within the first day or two of being in the hospital, I'd met someone in the hospital that, you know, I was instantly friendly with, and like, you know, I'm pretty actually like gregarious, I guess. Like, I try to talk to people. I'm actually genuinely interested in how they're doing and what's happening with them, and like, I'm actually quite private. I don't usually offer like true versions of myself to anyone, which is going to sound weird, seeing as I'm doing this like full frontal nudity, fucking full disclosure kind of thing. But I don't usually like sharing my private shit. I really, really want to keep my private shit private. I don't actually want anyone to fucking know who I am. I just would like to be affluent enough to just fucking make my own decisions and do my own shit and have no one really get in my way or like seek to fuck me over. You know, that's like ideal. Here I am, of course, obviously trying to create as much exposure as I can through like outlandish behaviour and fucking, you know, some theatre to try and get fucking someone finally to listen to some man who like is just fucking saying, please, I'm being abused, can someone fucking help? Because no one fucking wants to listen to that. Like, believe me, no one fucking wants to listen to that. Like, I actually, of course, painted up quite a few times in my life. I'm a metalhead, and like, if you know our tradition and culture, it's like a lot of my mates would just go like, yeah, fucking who hasn't, of course, painted up, like, you know. But a lot of this stuff, like, I'm obviously trying to seek attention, right? And I'm not an attention-seeking person. I'm actually like very personally proud of myself, but I don't really give a fuck if anyone knows me or like knows what I'm into. Like, I'm not in any way like a publicity whore. I've kind of gone down this path because I've been forced, because no one wants to listen to a man who says his wife's abusing him. Anyway, all that being said, I fucking love this country. Like, Thailand's fucking beautiful. Like, this nation I had for all these years. Like, I've travelled here a lot and I've worked here for a little while back in the day. And so I've been here quite a few times, and I actually really, really, really fucking like it. And every time I've got here, I've been more impressed. And my overwhelming feeling this time, having been here for about 2 months now, is like, they're miles ahead of where we're in Australia. Fucking miles ahead. Like, in almost fucking every way I can think of. Like, I don't know, there's probably examples of things that aren't as fucking like organised maybe, but shit, it feels like coming back to Australia, it kind of feels like I'm going to be stepping back in time. So anyway, I really appreciate, I try to like really live my life and just think about the fucking moments and think about like what you can do to fucking improve your situation, like no matter how shitty it is. Sorry, I'm trying to pick a flower for my hair because fuck it, why not? There you go. Got these flowers. We like to add flowers. I was always like, you know, you only fucking live once, right? And things like flowers, like, you know, like in Australia, like, and even back home, like, I don't know, they were always like a fucking luxury. Like, to be honest, like, you don't have that much fucking spare cash that you can be fucking buying shit like that. That's good. I like how the fucking petals will float down like the rain, like the snow in the fucking tundra. That's cool. You know, like, one thing that's really important to me in a weird way is lighting. So I'm sitting out here on the deck with just 2 candles to light me in. Again, like, my production values are literally like smartphone go. Like, and I'll die by. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, a lot of my artist friends probably horrified that there's no mixing, there's no sound production, there's no, like, I'm not using fucking studio mics, I'm not doing any of that shit. I really don't give a fuck. The ability for me to just kind of just pull this out of my phone and have it fucking cloud, like fucking enabled and shareable and ready on the go. Being a weird audio fucking art project anyway, it's like, I don't care. But you know, in terms of the people that have come along the journey for me, thank you, because I'm actually now getting quite like more, like for a long time, like when people just don't know what they're looking at to start with, I'm actually quite a sensible, calm person in my normal life. Anyone who's worked with me in a professional capacity will probably know, I would guess they'd probably say like fairly easygoing, but also like professional and calm and measured, and always try to find solutions rather than like I don't get stuck in blame and bullshit and that kind of stuff. I'm actually pretty chill. So again, you know, like I have course painted up a few times in my life, you know, including for Nicole's 40th. We had a metal themed 40th for Nicole's birthday, and you know, me and a few of my mates course painted up for that. But you know, people see things they don't understand and I'm like, oh, fucking scared, I don't like it, I'm scared, I don't like it. And you know, some of the stuff here in Thailand is like definitely different to what we've got back home, but fuck, it's a beautiful place and the people are beautiful and they seem so content, and you know, there's no one's really been rude to me at all, and no one's like, you know, I mean, there's people from all around the world here and they've all kind of got different styles of how they interact with people, I guess, but everyone's so chill, you know. And I'm just thinking back to Australia, like, you know, we went out one night here on a Tuesday night and there was like tens of thousands of people out dancing and partying and eating and having just a beach, just having a beautiful time, and like locals and tourists and everyone. And it's like, I think of a Tuesday night back in Canberra, I'm like, fuck, like, like there are definitely people out and about on a Tuesday, but it's not like a hotbed of activity. And I think a lot of that is everything costs us so much money. Like, I don't understand why, because it's not like our standard of living is actually as hot. Like, I feel like the standard of living here is like seems substantially higher. It seems like way less government interference. Like, there seems like people can just like run small businesses and make a living for their family. And you know, if you've got a piece of land, you can kind of build your house on it, and it's not necessarily like, it doesn't cost you like $1 million to do it. I don't know. Anyway, I will be coming back soon, so I'm excited to see a lot of good friends and to come back. And you know, really from here, the intention is to try and square things away in Australia as cleanly as I can, and yeah, then go to Plymouth Roads, because you know, like coming back to the story with the hospital and the first time I fell in love, which, you know, Nicole was convinced was about mania. I'm like, she's never met the person I fell in love with. I'd fallen out of love with Nicole before I fell in love with Amanda. You know, like, there was no room in my heart for anyone else until I fell out of love with Nicole. I only fell out of love with her because she became fixated on this idea that I was manic and I needed to be hospitalised. You know, like, she hasn't let it go ever since. She still can't, no matter how many thousands of times I've recorded myself saying to her, like, can you please leave me alone? I consider the way you're talking to me abusive. And she's just relentlessly coming after me. She still doesn't feel like that's abusive. But I know a lot of people that do. And I'm very, very, very thankful for the people that have, some of the people who have confided either just like acknowledgement with me, that they know what I'm going through and they understand, but also the people that have shared all parts of their own personal struggles and their own journeys with torment and control and you know, toxic relationships. been really sad. It's been really sad knowing that so many people are suffering, and there's this huge stigma about talking about it, you know, like as a man especially, like I don't know, I'm not like a fucking girly man, I like bright colours and shit, but I'm like heterosexual, and that's no disrespect to anyone who's not, that's just how I roll. Like, I'm comfortable in my body, I'm confident, I've always been physically active, I'm reasonably strong despite, you know, I have some injuries and shit, but you know, I'm pretty fucking fearless in most ways. Like, to be honest, again, full disclosure, I'm actually fucking completely nude right now, except for some corpse paint and some flowers in my head. and in this series so far, I've shown pretty much everything except my dick. And the good news for you is you're not seeing it tonight. Maybe. You know, I went to Rose and I went to Thai boxing night the other night. We've been trying to come for like about 6 weeks, and every time we've tried it, hasn't really worked. And we, you know, like we've been tired and gone home basically. But we committed, like, fuck it, like, you know, there's a truck, like anyone who's been to Patong has heard it. There's like this, like, couple of like trucks that drive around with a big PA on it, and they're like, tonight, Patong Boxing Stadium. You know, they just fucking spruik it, like, and they just go around with a megaphone, right? Like, it's kind of pervasive. But we finally got there, and there was like 6 fights or something on the card. Fucking brutal, like absolutely fucking brutal. Like, you know, like in terms of like entertaining, very entertaining, but also like, you know, skinny guys and like skinny young girls, and also big fucking grown men beating the shit out of each other. Like, there was one, I think the first card had like the girls were like 14 or 15 years old. They beat the shit out of most fucking blokes I know. Like, no worries. Like, you know, like if it was a fair fight at least, and they had maybe like just a head start of a little bit, they'd be fine. But any of those girls that were like fucking absolute weapons, like seriously just fucking trained and strong and fucking really tough. Like, most of them would struggle with a man that's like a third or a half getting their fucking weight. Like, if the bloke gets their hands on them, and generally, like, not everyone has like a background in like martial arts or like contact sports or anything like that, so not everyone's fucking the same in terms of their reactions and how they can throw a body around. But you know, Nicole's done, like, for example, one of the things she's done a lot over the years is boxing, but she does like sports boxing, like aerobic kind of boxing, and it's like, it's fucking tough cardio, like it's really, really tough. Like, it's a good workout, and it's not easy by any stretch, but it's also like, no one's actually trying to punch you in the head. And so, you know, with Nicole, like, she's quite hostile person. She's angry. Like, when she's in a rage cycle, she's fucking really angry. And she balls her fist like a lot of the time. Fucking, she's like this fucking angry. Like, she's like this, right? And she's never actually swung a punch at me. I'm not fucking saying she's punched me, but it's been a few times over years. I'm like, fucking go on and fucking do it. Like, but she can't actually fight. Like, the confidence she's got, like, you know, we used to do taekwondo when we were kids and such, and the taekwondo we did was like, and it was like a defensive contact only kind of style, so you could you had to block, or you know, you kind of had to block, but most of the kicks and punches were pulled. You weren't usually going to cop a kick to the ribs if you didn't block it, like, usually, until you got to sort of the more senior levels, and then it got sort of more physical. But that kind of shit builds like a false confidence where you can move and you can like kick and you can react and this kind of stuff. But you've never actually been punched fucking square in the fucking nose, or the chin, or the fucking kidneys, or the fucking jaw, you know. Like if you've ever been fucking hit in the jaw, like I've had a couple of ringers on my fucking chin back, like actually like not punches, just fucking impacts. Immediate disorientation. It was like you get that like like immediate like fucking just like all your fucking sound, fucking your audio fucking things all fucking dizzy, like completely disoriented and stunned. Like, and how long you're stunned for probably depends on how many times, how tough you are, how many times you've been fucking hit before, and how like conditioned to it you are. Because that minute where you're like that second, like you're like, then they're fucking hitting you again and again and again and again and again, and you are fucked. Where am I going with this? Again, like I'm sitting here like confident Mick. He doesn't really fucking have many fears in life. He's not really like, I'm not afraid to die. I never fucking have been. I'm not like wanting to die. I want to live as long as I fucking can, but I know I will die. And how I live my life is more important to me than how I die. Say like people don't believe that fucking what Nicole's done could possibly be abusive. I'm like, well, why else did I say it 10,000 times? Like I've been consistent. My story hasn't changed. And at which point, like, I don't know how many repetitions are needed before it becomes like a self-fulfilling thing where it's like, well, like maybe if Mick feels like he's being abused constantly, but you keep doing the things that he considers abusive and you deny there's any problem. Maybe there's a different problem, like, surely it's not just like the problem is, oh, Mick needs to be medicated because he's gone like I said before you now with flowers in my hair and coarse paint and no clothes and some candlelight. But I'd submit to you, I'm not crazy, I never have been. I make artistic choices because it amuses me. Like if I've got to get your attention somehow, I'm going to do it in a way that makes sense to me. I'm not going to do something that fucking, isn't true to me. And again, coarse painting up and wearing flowers and being a fucking piece of the hippie and a fucking, I don't know, just like an exhibitionist or not like, none of them are really that fucking unusual, I guess. Like, well, I've never been an exhibitionist, but like honestly, I've never been fucking afraid to walk around fucking half naked because it's fucking hot. And I sweat like a motherfucker. So, anyways, I put a shirt on, I'm like, well, I also don't care, like, if you don't want to look at my body, just turn the fucking video off and just fucking listen. But also, like, any shirt I wear here is fucking saturated about 5 minutes and then it becomes like a wet t-shirt competition, so. I don't know. I'm going to just quickly finish with something else, a bit of a tangent. I'm going to have some water. I know some of these things ramble, I know sometimes I go around in circles, but I'm actually not much of a fucking drug guy. Like, I do smoke weed, like, and as I said, to me, like the amount I smoke and the frequency and stuff, it's more like tea. Like, I kind of get as much, if I have 2 or 3 green teas, I'll have the same, like probably more of a fucking like excited buzz than I do with like a cane. I've got this bottle here, I'm just going to drink out of this again, just so people, I'm eating strawberries and grapes, but this is actually water. I did, full disclosure, I did buy this bottle of rum from across the road. It was delicious, Thai rum. It's in a nice bottle, now it's nice cold water. So I'm not really a drug guy, like I said, I've always drunk beer, and I've always enjoyed fucking hanging out with mates and being social and partying and that kind of shit, but not getting drunk. I try not to get deliberately drunk. I definitely do. Sometimes fucking go far harder than I intended, perhaps, especially with the bar business. Sometimes nights you have more fun than you expect, or you cook up with mates you weren't expecting and the night goes a bit longer, but I actually really try not to overdrink. I actually try to never be hungover. I don't like waking up feeling shit. I do smoke some cannabis, but I mostly have a little bit and then I go do some yoga or or swim or something like that. It's kind of what I like to do, or skate or something like that. I don't really do any other drugs. I have tried a couple of things over the years, like very recent, like not too fucking far back in the past when I fucking fled home from the couple. I did try some of the Colombian marching powder that everyone seems so fucking excited about. And to be honest, I tried it a couple of times, and to be honest, like, I don't know, didn't really do much, but you know, it wasn't a bad time, didn't do much. I've done some ecstasy like 2 or 3 times I think now. Like first 2 times didn't really do much. 3rd time was in an island in Thailand with some friends, and it was fucking excellent. We went and had a dance party on their little patio, and had a very psychedelic fun time. It was nice. I did LSD one time at the Good Things Festival. It was fucking, I don't know if I did quite enough. I didn't get any kind of visual kind of experiences or anything, but I did have quite a nice day, and it was like a blue sky day, and it was like grass underfoot and stuff. And oh, hang on, I think here comes the magician again. Hello, darling. I'm still talking. You're still on video. How are you going, baby?
Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about last night. I'm just going to do a quick trip report about Phuket Fantasy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to wrap up because I've been ranting at these people for a while. So last night we went to the second time we went to a stage show called Phuket Fantasy, right? And Rose had taken me there. She'd seen it once before, but when we were in Phuket a few weeks ago, before we went to the island, we'd gone to see Phuket Fantasy.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't know much about it. I knew it involved elephants, and that was it, and as a cultural thing, that's about all I knew. So we've gone to see this show, and like, to be honest, it was the best fucking stage show I've ever seen. Like, the place that it's at was more impressive to me than the pyramids of Giza, for example. It's more impressive than quite a lot of other like famous monuments I've seen around the world in terms of the actual structure itself, and it's like this beautiful Thai temple and like a psychedelic trip in celebration of Thailand. But the show, this is why I love this girl. I'm here trying to record a video. She's like, let me feed you strawberries. I'm going to eat another grape to show them how healthy I've been. Oh, thank you, baby. Actually, you want to feed me grape? Come on, baby. Right, so anyway, we'd gone through this show, right? And I didn't know much about it, like I said, but what it was a beautiful stage show in this huge theatre, like a massively impressive space with incredible projection visuals, incredible 3D stage sets and modelling, and hundreds of dancers and acrobats and lights and sound, and like 20 or 30 elephants, and like all kinds of different animals and all kinds of stuff. And literally it was the most impressive stage show I've ever seen, like by like a long stretch. The whole thing was just magnificently done. And anyway, so we'd seen it a couple of weeks ago, and I decided, when I went there, because it's all very trippy and psychedelic and weird, and like whoever's come up with the concept is definitely, I don't know, like probably smokes a lot of hashish, I would guess. That's some mushrooms. But the first time I went there, I said to Rose afterwards, I said, look, that was amazing. I want to do that again. And I think this time I'm going to take some mushrooms. So last night.
Yeah.
That was the night. At the shop here, I found some mushrooms, and it's beautiful when you go to a shop and you just buy what you want, and you know what it is, and it's in a bag, and it's got a dosage on it, how many grams it is, and it's the right species. So, I chopped it up a bit, and I put it in some lemon, and I had some honey, and I just took it down, and
I didn't take any of that shit.
Yeah,
only him.
Rose is a good girl.
Yeah,
Rose is a good girl. She was my spirit guide. I said to her, remember, all you need to know is that everything's going to be okay. And if I start freaking out, just tell me. Everything will be okay.
He wasn't freaking out, but I was freaking out. I was freaking out on his behalf.
You were?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Anyway, so we've gone to Phuket Fantasy again and took some mushrooms. Not really, I've done them a few times. It's either been like I haven't dosed enough to really get much of an effect, or it's got to the point where it's kind of like a little bit intense and all consuming. And a few times, like I've done it in Thailand on the beach a few years back, and you know, I remember sitting there on the sand and having this realization, looking at the grains of sand individually, like cascading across the sand in the wind and the way the light was shining on them. And I had this realization that, you know, this is the bones of the earth, and I'm staring at like millions of years of life and the earth itself. That's its bones have worn down to the point it's blowing across the beach in the wind, and I'm, you know, there to marvel in its beauty. And I, at the same time as realizing that, I realized like that's a really fucking like typical kind of thing to think of when you're on psychedelic drugs. But you know, so, and then after that, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna lie down and go to bed. So I went back to my apartment, went to bed. That was a couple of years ago. Last night, I had kind of probably the kind of trip you hear a lot about, where people say that it's just like really spiritually meaningful and like quite emotionally rewarding and personally satisfying. I definitely was an ordeal. Like there was points there, like in the early, like as the mushrooms came on, like there was a lot going on in that park. It's very psychedelic. There's like a theme park. There's lots of stuff going on. It was a bit of a test. No, I've got some water here, baby. Yeah, I was very hot. It's like really hot here. I'm a quite hot human. That's just what.
Can we have some?
I have some, baby.
It's clean?
Yeah, it's clean. It's cold. So anyway, so we were going there and we were going to buffet dinner, and I've immediately realised that I had absolutely zero interest in food. And so Rose has eaten like the buffet dinner, and then we've, you know, gone to find our seats, and we've entered the theatre. You know, from start to finish, the whole design or the whole experience is extremely well curated. Like even as we're sitting in our seats waiting for while they're loading everyone in, the soundtrack is very, very three-dimensional birdsong, and you know, like forest sounds and this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there on mushrooms, like trying to find some calm with what was to come and trying to accept that I was in a trip, and I just needed to kind of just trust that the mushrooms would show me what I needed to see. And the whole experience from start to finish was just ridiculously spiritually rewarding. You know, it's fascinating. It's firstly a fascinating, beautiful stage show. It's like a love affair to Thailand in a psychedelic, really artistic, creatively imagined way. Like it's a big value production. It's like there's hundreds of performers in it, and they do it multiple times a week. You know, every time an elephant would enter the room, I'd just like be grinning ear to ear, because those creatures to me are just incredible. They're so charismatic and so clever and so intelligent. You know, the whole experience is designed, I think, to be like a trip. Like I'm pretty sure, like what they've had in mind, it's like, let's make this like really fucking like psychedelic and weird, because the whole thing is psychedelic and weird. And with those mushrooms in the mix, it was incredibly visual, incredibly, because they do a lot of stuff with projected light. Like they'll project light over the scene and just like subtly kind of move it, like just have like some subtle movement into what's happening. So it sort of brings this kind of weird, trippy effect onto the whole thing. Anyway, I'm sitting there and watching this, and I'm simultaneously thinking about my life. I'm thinking about lots of stuff, like, you know, about alcohol, and like actually, you know, I do drink alcohol. I actually just cracked a 196 because they're kind of nice and they're no sugar. It's fucking not good for you, and I probably do drink sometimes more than I should. And you know, the mushrooms kind of said, look, just like, I've never committed to never having another drink, because that's not kind of my vibe. But I'm just like, yeah, just like do way less, or do less, and just like have bigger gaps and be a bit more respectful to your liver and your kidneys and everything else. Cool. Same with cannabis. Like I do smoke weed a lot. I do it on these videos for comic effect and attention as much as anything, and also to prove a point, because like a big part of my journey is Nicole's misunderstanding of cannabis, and you know, it's like age-old stigma that it like gives you the schizophrenia and makes you fucking crazy. It's like cannabis has got nothing to do with my story. Like this, it's like an innocent bystander in the whole fucking scheme of what's going on here. But you know, I smoke it on the videos because, firstly, for a long time that kind of shit's illegal, and like the fact that I can now fucking freely feel like I can do that and say fuck you guys, like, you know, I've fucking faced injustice from cannabis since I was sort of 18 years old. Like, this was the first time I got fucking busted by the cops and like given like a fine, and like $100 fine or something when you're 18 for having like I don't know, like one cone of fucking weed left in the bottom of your container. Like, that was my first experience with like persecution against cannabis, but it still exists, you know. Like the psychiatrists and stuff still fucking completely fucking just fixate on it. And Nicole had fixated on it, so that's kind of why I smoke a deep skin, you know. Like just before I went to hospital, I'd recorded some videos from staff videos, messages from my videos, and again to kind of, as a probably ill-conceived, but ultimately, you know, the way that I did some, like I recorded a couple of videos where I was like kind of acting up like I was crazy, because everyone's acting like I'm crazy, and I was like, just going, guys, I'm just fucking trying to get your attention. I'm trying to say common sense things, like, can you just fucking listen to me and just listen to what I'm saying, right? But you know, in some of those videos, I started one of those videos with a glass of wine and a fucking bong, and the glass of wine was a hat tip to a very famous metal interview with a fucking Norwegian black metal fucking musician called Gayla, where he's like fucking swilling fucking red wine, and he's like talking about Satan. It's like kind of famous in those scenes. But you know, I started with that and a bong, and that was one of the things. It was like, I'd smoked weed with most of my staff like multiple times, like not on shift usually, but after the show, let them smoke a joint or whatever when everyone's chilling. Like, them seeing me smoke a bong wasn't unusual at all. But you know, Nicole fucking told the feds about that, and she told my dad about that, and my dad told the feds about that, and then the feds, being the psychiatrists, are like, oh my god, I can't believe you fucking smoked a bong in front of your staff. Like, it's fucking extremely erratic and unprofessional. It's like, man, most of my staff smoke a lot more weed than I do. Like I might be a regular long-term stoner, but I like, my consumption is way lower than a lot of the people that I'm working with, and that it's not necessarily problematic for them either. Like, by the way, like, it's not like not all drug use is like abusive. But you know, that, because that was part of the narrative. They're like, oh, you know, cannabis psychosis has led to all this. And it's like, no, it hasn't. Like, I actually can stop smoking weed anytime, and I do when I take breaks. And you know, I'm about to bounce to a country that weed's not legal for a while before I come, you know, on the way back to Australia, and I certainly won't be consuming or holding anything in that jurisdiction, and it's not going to affect me. I don't care, and like, it's not an issue. But anyway, so the mushroom trip told me stuff like that, but it also told me, you know, like, that I am loved and accepted and heard, and that things in time will work themselves out, and that although I'm extremely happy in a lot of ways, that I'm also there's extreme sadness, and the fact that both my kids are completely offside with me at the moment, and really don't even want to talk to me, you know, because of Rose. I think as much as anything else, probably once, you know, Rose came into the picture, that sort of cemented, you know, a lot of, I don't know, probably a lot of feelings to a lot of friends and family. Like, there's a lot of friends that I've spoken about Rose who are really, really happy for me and understand that I'm like completely in control of my faculties, and I'm choosing to be with someone that I love, and that it's like a dream come true. But there's a whole bunch of other people, family and friends, who are just like standing there horrified, thinking like, oh my god, what's he doing? Like, he must be mad. And like, you know, again, I wasn't expecting Rose to come join this call tonight. I had let her know that I was recording a video. She's, you know, she's my queen. She arrives when she chooses to arrive, and she joined the conversation tonight. But you know, I'm posting pictures of her on socials now because neither of us want to hide our relationship. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I feel like all the other heartache and the pain and stuff is maybe worth it to have met her. So, you know, I think it's coming on an hour now, I guess. Again, I just, on a whim, decided to call this plane up because I had some time and I saw it there in my bag. Never quite know where I'm going with this, but I'm just glad that there's some people that can like see past the cause pain or the fucking the hair or the psychedelic fucking sunglasses or the weirdness, like, and actually listen to what I'm saying. And you know, thank you. We're now starting to pick up some steam on the subscriber count. It's fucking amazing. It was a slow start, but I knew, like, it's like bands, right? Like, it takes fucking at least 10 years to be an overnight success. I knew it would take some time to get some momentum, but I think we're starting to get there now, and I think my message is starting to come through a little stronger, and hopefully as I go back and try to cement some of these earlier pieces, like, I think the penny will fall into place, and hopefully I'll be able to tidy up my life and help the kids and help Nicole get some help and move on. Anyway, I want everyone to know that I'm very happy and I'm very comfortable and I'm very, very satisfied with life, and thank you for the support that I've got, and for everyone that still thinks what I'm doing is really damaging, and you know that I need to you know that I'm in trouble. I just implore you just to listen to what I'm saying. You know, I haven't changed my story in years. That, you know, I've been the victim of abuse, and that I need some help and support to deal with that, because, you know, I've never hurt Nicole. I never wanted to hurt Nicole. She's a beautiful human. I never wanted us to end this way. But until I get to the point where that awareness kicks in and I can actually get some kind of fucking adult logical decision about this whole fucking affair and the way people think about it, then, you know, then the channel will keep going on this tangent. But again, I don't want to keep putting out fucking the abuse from the past, because that shit really fucking people, it's confronting. And, you know, cold, bitter experiences that, like me just screaming at her to fuck off and leave me alone, like, a lot of people would interpret that as me having mental problems, and I'm like, no, I'm just saying fuck off and leave me alone, because I refuse to hurt you, but like, fuck off and leave me alone, stop fucking talking to me, leave me alone, fuck off, you know. Anyway, it's always long strange shit. I am fucking nude. I am going to turn this off without you guys seeing my dick, because gotta have something for the OnlyFans. Peace out.